Today we're going to make some banana muffins. So this one is a little bit of a different recipe. It has some yogurt in it, so it keeps the muffins nice and creamy and smooth, or just moist, longer than the regular banana muffin recipe. So I'm going to make 2 dozen today. I have 1 cup of shortening and I have 2 cups of sugar. I want to get this creaming in my mixer right away. You want these ingredients to be mixed up really well. Muffins are a little bit different, where you need everything to be mixed really well first, and when you get to the end and you add your flour, you have to do minimal mixing at the end. So we want to cream this together. I'm going to just take a minute to cream this and I'll show you what it looks like. I had my shortening and sugar creaming a little bit. Shortening is a little bit more, it breaks up a bit more than butter. Butter, it really gets nice and creamy, but we just wanted to make sure those 2 ingredients were incorporated nice, because we're going to also add some bananas now, and I'm just adding my bananas straight in. You don't have to mash them up ahead. If you have a whipper beater like this, the machine will do all the work for you. So I have about 4 bananas here. So you need about 2 cups of mashed bananas, so 4 or 5 bananas, whatever you have on hand. We're going to let this mix for a little bit so it comes together nice, and I will show you what that looks like. Alright, so I've got my bananas mixed in now. So I had to turn my mixer up. I wanted to make sure there were no big clumps of bananas in there. So at this point is when you're going to add your yogurt. So we're going to have 1 cup of yogurt. If you don't have yogurt on hand, but you have sour cream that's going to expire really soon, go ahead, put sour cream in. It works just as well. I've also done it where I have used different flavors of yogurt. Doesn't matter what you use. You can use blueberry yogurt, strawberry yogurt, vanilla, plain, doesn't matter. So you want to just get all of that in, all these wet ingredients mixed well together. And we're also going to add in 4 eggs at this time. So I just want to make sure these wet ingredients are mixed well, and then we're going to add the rest. So you feel free to stop your mixer every once in a while to scrape the side of the bowl, because sometimes it doesn't get quite to the bottom. So I'll do that because I see it's not quite mixing all the way to the bottom. So lift up your mixer, make sure you get all the sides scraped down. So you want to make sure you're mixing all those ingredients in. And then we're going to be adding in half a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And then we're at the point where we're going to also add our flour. My kids like to have chocolate chips in their muffins, so go ahead, add chocolate chips at this time. You could put in 1 cup of chocolate chips, or if you like walnuts or any other kind of nuts, feel free to put them in. I'm not going to do that today. I know, and my daughter just went, oh no. But we're going to add in 4 cups of flour. The trick with muffins is to not overmix your dough. If you mix it too long, your batter, it gets too smooth. You need to have your dough, your batter to be a little bit lumpy. So I don't want to overmix this. So I'll show you what we'll just keep going here, show you what that looks like. And I'll actually mix the last little bit just by hand because I don't want to overdo it. So I can see it's starting to come together, but there's still some flour around the edges. That's the point where I'm going to stop it. And we're going to do the rest of this by hand. I find it becomes more like a cake batter if you overmix it. So you don't want to do that. So it's a little bit messy with this whipping beater, but that's okay. Get your hands a little dirty. We're baking. You're allowed to do that. So I'm going to get this off and I'm going to mix this by hand, this last little bit. You don't want to overmix, you just want to make sure you get right to the bottom so you don't have big clumps of flour left in your bowl. You just want to stir that in and fold it a little bit so you don't have really wet spots and you don't have very floury spots. And then we're going to be getting these into our muffin tin. So I'm just going to clean up my counter here a minute and I will show you the next step. Alright, so I'm scooping out my muffins. Once again, I'm using one of my favorite tools in the kitchen. This is my 2.5-inch scoop. This is a perfect size for muffins. It helps you get all your muffins to be the same size. This recipe will give me approximately 2 dozen muffins. So maybe a little bit less depending how many bananas you had in your recipe. And I just wanted to show you a little tip on how to make your muffins get that little bit of a professional finish on top. You can take a little bit of brown sugar and you sprinkle some brown sugar on it. It gives it a little bit of a crunch on the top of your muffin. Only do a few because for some reason my kids don't like this. I don't know why. And you throw in some walnuts on the top, and it makes a really pretty top to your muffin. So we're going to get these in the oven. My oven is going to be at 375 degrees and 20 to 25 minutes. You want to make sure that they're going to be baked all the way through. Don't forget to check with a toothpick to make sure you're not going to have any dough coming out, because you want them to be cooked all the way through. So we're going to get these in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. It's been 20 minutes, so I'm just going to take a quick peek at my muffins. Actually, I can tell just by looking at them, they're not quite ready yet. A little bit wet on the inside of some of the centers. So I'm going to give them the extra 5 minutes, so I'll check again at 25 minutes. So our muffins have been in for 25 minutes. There's a couple ways you can check if they're done. Often if you just touch the top and they don't sink in, you can tell, or you can take a toothpick or a skewer. And if you put it in and it comes out clean, it's done. So you can take a look here, nice and golden. Also, see how nice the tops are on the ones with the brown sugar and walnuts. Juliana could take a closer picture of that when she looks at the recipe as well. Give them about 5 minutes or so to cool in the tins, and then take them out and put them on your cooling rack. So I'd love to hear what you think about these muffins with that yogurt in there or that sour cream. Just, they're so much nicer. They stay moist. So give it a try.